So lots of questions there. Primarily, Rahul Gandhi's visit to the Atal Samadhi, was it an act of politics or an act above politics, is what the Bharat Jodo Yatra would have us believe. And importantly, is the Congress now trying to build a narrative like the BJP has been peddling, which is Patel versus Nehru? Is the Congress now trying to push the Atal Bihari Vajpayee versus Narendra Modi narrative? We're going to delve into all of that. Let me quickly welcome our panelists this evening at 9 p.m. Joining me is Syed Zafar Islam, Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, Rohan Gupta, Congress spokesperson, Sudhendra Kulkarni, who walked with Rahul Gandhi a short while ago, was also closely associated with Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He's joining us in the capacity of a social political activist and columnist. In just a short while, viewers, we'll also be joined by Subhashini Ali. She's a CPI member. Rahul Srivastav, National Affairs Editor, is also with us. Rahul, let me begin with you. And with the first question that I posed, because the Congress would have us believe that the entire Bharat Jodo Yatra is above politics, though it's political in nature. What we saw today, Rahul Gandhi this morning, clad in just a t-shirt, well, that's a matter of another debate, went to the Samadhi of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, like other former prime ministers as well. Do you see this as an act of shrewd politics? Because at least where the Prime Minister is concerned, Narendra Modi, we haven't, seen him quite go to the Indira Gandhi Samadhi or the Nehru Samadhi. Him, putting forward that step, saying that we are a little more inclusive than what the Bharatiya Janata Party is. Do you see it as an act of above politics, which the Bharat Jodo Yatra would have us believe?
Pretty irrespective of what the Congress and others say, this act is soaked in politics. It cannot be that it is bereft of politics. Primarily because he's a politician, he's going to the Samadhi of a politician. And that very act, it's not unfamiliar and it's not new. Rahul Gandhi has been invoking Atal Bihari Vajpayee, even L.K. Advani, one time strident face of Hindutva, pre-Karachi, and Mr. Kulkarni will know very well about it. The fact is that humiliation of Vajpayee and Advani and others, Rahul Gandhi has talked about it in 2018 also. The fact that he went there today morning is a political act. He has tried to signal that he is beyond small political elements and gains. He has tried to differentiate between him and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that while Narendra Modi never includes paying homage to Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi and others, Rahul Gandhi is more inclusive. There is also a deft political subtle angle to it, that Rahul Gandhi's Yatra's broad template, and if you see the theme, has been nafrat. That nafrat bahut ho gayi hai. In that nafrat element and hate and prejudice element, what Rahul Gandhi today is trying to say is that he is okay even to people within the BJP when it comes to consensus leaders, when it comes to slightly more left to the right, as far as the BJP is concerned, compared to Narendra Modi. He's trying to create Atal Bihari Vajpayee versus Narendra Modi. The idea is, I think, to create those 50 shades of saffron, in which that Vajpayee was less saffron than Narendra Modi. I think it's a very political move. But again, yes, will the people accept it like that? Because the acrimony between Vajpayee and the Congress also is known history.
Well, Syed Zafar Islam, why so uncomfortable? The Bharatiya Janata Party till now has always, played the narrative of a Patel versus Nehru in possibly every political move that we have seen. What's so wrong? Why is it making you so uncomfortable if the Congress is now Rahul Gandhi visiting the Samadhi of Atal Bihari Vajpayee? If there's a template that they are seemingly trying to create of a Vajpayee versus Narendra Modi.
Well, you have to understand first thing that Congress and their history is known to everyone, that they have not respected any Indian icons except Gandhi and Nehru Parivar. Family coming from Gandhi and Nehru family, they have respected them, and beyond that they have never respected anyone. Be it Patel, be it Baba Sahib or anyone else, but they have not respected, even though their contribution to this great country is immense and everyone knows their contribution, yet they have never been acknowledged by Congress party. Today when he visited the Samadhi of many other prime ministers, he should have, why did he ignored, for instance, Mr. Rao, P.V. Narasimha Rao? He didn't visit there. So even it was just a political stunt. It was, and that will eventually backfire on him, because if you just see the body language of Rahul Gandhi,
when was the last time that the Prime Minister visited the Samadhi of Nehru or Indira Gandhi? To my knowledge, never.
See, no, he did. And he has always tweeted about them. It is, if you have not read his tweet, you must go and
Tell
go
me,
back
sir,
and
I was trying very hard, me and my research team.
Death anniversary or birth anniversary, every time
Sir, he's tweeted about them, yes.
But here,
he has tweeted about them, yes.
Let me ask you.
No,
let me
sir,
ask you if he was visiting.
No, you corrected me. Therefore, I want to stand corrected, because me and my research team went at length today to try and figure out when was it that Prime Minister visited the Samadhi of Indira Gandhi or Nehru. Because he's tweeted, and you're right there, but he's never quite visited the Samadhi physically.
Well, listen, first of all, if he was visiting all the Prime Minister, then he should have visited PV Narasimha Rau's Samadhi as well. But he didn't. He chose not to visit. Secondly, if he was really sincere and he was really paying respect to everyone, then just see his body language. Is this the way you visit a Samadhi? No. You are not paying any respect. The way he's walking, the way he's picking up flowers from one hand. Do you do that? I mean, everyone knows how one has to visit. When you are visiting, you are not going to see a body. You are going to pay homage to a leader who has contributed immensely to this country and who happened to be former Prime Minister of this great country. But that was missing when he visited there. It was not. It was purely for photo ops. It was intentional. To only mislead the people of this great country.
Some would suggest you're reading a lot into body language, but you're allowed
to mislead the people.
Okay, body language, how somebody pays respects is very subjective, sir. But I will, one good point that you raised, and I want to bring in our Congress spokesperson Rohan Gupta into this conversation on that. Rohan Gupta, there's a relevant point that was raised by your co-panelist, Mr. Syed Zafar Islam, and that is he didn't visit the Samadhi of Mr. Rao. I'm not talking about today. He went through Telangana, he went through Andhra Pradesh, and Mr. PV Narasimha Rao is the son of the soil there. Your own Congress unit urged him that you must visit, the statue and pay homage to PV Narasimha Rao. He went on to do so with a statue which was very close to PV Narasimha Rao, but that was of Indira Gandhi. So why shouldn't all of this be looked at as political gimmickry?
Absolutely, it's not a political gimmick. And when BJP spokesperson was answering, you can make out, the kind of frustration what is there in BJP's mindset. They are not able to accept the fact that the opposition leader is visiting Vajpayee's Samadhi. See, idea here is different. Bharat Jodo Yatra, the main objective of Bharat Jodo Yatra, it is against hatred, it is against anger, it is against the negativity. When Rahul Gandhi ji goes to the Samadhi of Vajpayee ji and pays tribute, if BJP leader, find out that this is the body language, I think this is a lame excuse. It is, even Mr. Vajpayee ji, when he was the Prime Minister, he always said that the governments will come and go, we have to protect our democracy. And this is the whole idea. The messaging is very clear that we are talking about democracy. We are talking about protecting our democracy, and this is the government who has lost even their control to the legacy of Vajpayee's rule, because these kind of things have never happened when Vajpayee was in power, and that is the message Congress is giving. And why they are not ready to appreciate the fact that we are visiting Samadhi of Vajpayee rather than questioning differently. I think the question is very simple. They are not able to digest the positive politics which Rahul Gandhi is doing. They are not able to accept the kind of maturity shown by Rahul Gandhi ji, and that's why they are giving all these
before I bring in Sudhendra Kulkarni, what stopped Rahul Gandhi to visit Mr. PV Narasimha Rao Samadhi in Hyderabad?
See, again, no, nothing stops, there are, the whole route was there, and the message is very clear. He is going to Delhi, he is in Delhi right now, and he has visited all the Samadhis of all Prime Ministers who are there. The Samadhis are there in Delhi. So I don't think so. This is the point of, they cannot ask us counter question. The answer they have to give is, are they happy with Mr. Rahul Gandhi visiting Vajpayee's Samadhi? They are not able to give the answer. I am asking very pointed question.
Okay, Rohan Gupta, I'm going to bring in Sudhendra Kulkarni, but mull over this question. Rohan Gupta, I'm going to cut across to Sudhendra Kulkarni, but mull over this question. You're saying they are not happy. A lot of you are not happy, no? You had one of your own Gaurav Pandey tweet out against Atal Bihari Vajpayee only to delete his tweet. I'll come back to that. Mull over that question.
I will give you 10 examples whether Sadhvi Pragya or Sadhvi Prachi, they have raised questions against Mahatma Gandhi.
Sir, I will come to, that can't change, okay, that can't change Gaurav Gandhi's stand. I agree with what you're saying. But that's a matter of different debate. If you actually saw the 7 o'clock show, if you saw my 7 o'clock show, it was about Sadhvi Pragya. But may I, with the permission, with your permission.
Can I just come in?
Sir, can I bring in Mr. Kulkarni, and I'll come right back to you, Mr. Islam. Give me just about 2 minutes. Let me just open the panel a bit. So, Dendra Kulkarni, you were seen walking with Rahul Gandhi. You came back with, at least with what your tweets that I read, Mr. Kulkarni, very impressed with Rahul Gandhi. Was it you who planted the idea that he should go and, pay respects at the Atal Samadhi? You've been very, very closely associated with Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Do you see a marked difference? Because what seems to be, Mr. Kulkarni, is a narrative that the Congress is looking at building, which is at one end you have an inclusive figure like Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and you'd like to pitch him against to what the Congress believes is a divisive figure, which is Narendra Modi.
See, what you said is a baseless insinuation and extrapolation. Rahul Gandhi has shown commendable political maturity, courage, and large-heartedness by going to the Samadhi of Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji today. And this is completely in alignment with the basic idea of Bharat Jodo Yatra. What is Bharat Jodo Yatra? It is to unite the nation, cutting across the barriers of caste, religion, language, and also cutting across the barriers of ideology and politics. And this is what Rahul Gandhi has done today. The differences between the BJP and the Congress will continue. But despite differences, there is a common ground which is dictated by national interest. And which is why, by paying tribute to a leader like Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who also practiced the philosophy of Bharat Jodo, you very well know the kind of respect he showed towards Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who was his political opponent. Now, this is the kind of consensus building that India requires. The problems, challenges before India are so huge, so gigantic. No political party, even a political party with a clear parliamentary majority, can tackle them on its own. What India needs is politics of consensus, politics of cooperation, politics of dialogue. And there is too much narrow-mindedness, too much negativity in politics today, and which is why I commend Rahul Gandhi going to Atalji's Samadhi, and similarly, I urge leaders of the BJP to show similar large-heartedness towards Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the way Atalji did. Just look at the kind of vilification that's been going on. As
Mr.
if
Kulkarni, before I want to
Nehru is a Khalnayak, villain for everything that's gone wrong in India.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Before I bring in Rahul Srivastava, I want to know what was the wrong extrapolation that I actually did. Extrapolation, I beg your pardon. What was the wrong in that?
You said that I gave the idea to Rahul. I
didn't say you gave. I asked you, sir. You could have just said no.
No,
it's a very basic question.
It's Rahul Gandhi's own idea, and I'm not there to advise him.
It was only a question, did you? And the larger question was what the Congress is trying to build in. But I want to bring in Rahul Srivastava back into this conversation. Rahul Srivastava, there is an attempt clearly to, even with what Mr. Kulkarni said, a figure like Atal Bihari Vajpayee, largely inclusive, seen as somebody who built consensus. If I'm not wrong, and I've just, while I was researching, the whole word of Ajata Shatru, the one who had no enemies across party lines. But he was as enigmatic a figure as well. And before I come to you, Rahul, I want to cut across and I want to ask our producers to play for our viewers. Two very, very different Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The dichotomy of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, because as he was seen maybe as a liberal in those times, he also treaded the hardline Hindutva boundaries as well. And let's just listen in and I'll come back to you, Rahul.
संसार सेवा करके अयोध्या में सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के किसी निर्णय की अवहेलना नहीं होगी, कार सेवा करके सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के निर्णय का सम्मान किया जाएगा, उस पर आचरण किया जाएगा। वहां नुकीले पत्थर निकले, उन पर तो कोई नहीं बैठ सकता। तो जमीन को समतल करना पड़ेगा, बैठने लायक बनाना पड़ेगा। यज्ञ का आयोजन होगा। मैं नहीं जानता कल वहां क्या होगा। मेरी अयोध्या जाने की इच्छा थी, मगर मुझे कहा गया तुम दिल्ली जाओ और मैं आदेश का पालन करूंगा।
चीफ मिनिस्टर के लिए मेरा एक ही संदेश है कि वो राजधर्म का पालन करें। राजधर्म।
All right, so two very different faces, Rahul, that we just saw of the same man, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, at one end reminding the then Gujarat Chief Minister Narendra Modi to follow Raj Dharma. On the other, when he's talking about, addressing the cadre, the Kar Sevaks in 1992, if there are stones, Kar Sevaks will have to level them. Zameen ko samtal karna padega. You could never call him maybe a Hindu hardliner, but he, on many brief occasions, did tread the Hindu hardline camp.
Preeti, this was a speech delivered by ex-Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee when he was a prominent leader in the opposition on the 5th of December in the Jhandewala Park in Aminabad in Lucknow. I was there. And at that time, Vajpayee has also mentioned कि मुझे आदेश हुआ है कि मुझे कल अयोध्या में नहीं होना है. The lines were drawn in the RSS at that time. Who is the strident face of Hindutva? L.K. Advani. And who is the softer face? And later, one of the RSS ideologues himself called Atal Bihari Vajpayee a Mukhota. And the Congress constantly kept calling Atal Bihari Vajpayee a Mukhota at one time. Now, that's what I had said initially. What the Congress is trying to do, and I think all political parties speak in two tongues. Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Advani did at one time. What the Congress is doing, if you see Mr. Pandey and other comments which have been there, one is invoking Gandhi. Mr. Rohan Gupta mentioned it, that Rahul Gandhi is trying to create an image which is beyond the dirty of politics, which others have to do. For example, within a party that Vajpayee has been attacked. Now, this is exactly what the BJP was doing at one time. Today, it is the Congress which is doing it, and politicians keep doing it. The fact remains is that this hate element, when you talk about it and we talk about historically what was happening, you see, then you should also mention that on the May 27th, 1996, there was a speech by Atal Bihari Vajpayee in Parliament. And the same man that Congress of today is trying to invoke had said on the floor of the House, just before saying कि मैं राष्ट्रपति के पास जा रहा हूँ इस्तीफा देने his 13-day government, he had said राजनीति ऐसे खेमों में नहीं बंटनी चाहिए, ध्रुवीकरण नहीं होना चाहिए, कि संवाद ना हो, चर्चा ना हो, देश संकट में है, हमने नहीं पैदा किया, हमने तमाम मौकों पे सरकार की मदद करी, सत्ता का खेल चलता रहेगा, सरकारें आएंगी जाएंगी, पार्टी बनेंगे टूटेंगी, देश रहना चाहिए, लोकतंत्र. The same man they are trying to invoke today for as a symbol of peace and perhaps decent politics, at one time had warned the Congress in 1996 that this is exactly what you're doing.
Well, and I'll bring in Rohan Gupta on that, because adding to what Rahul Srivastav said, Rohan Gupta, I'll remind you of 1998, 1999, 2002, where your own leader, Sonia Gandhi, went out on a limb to criticize the politics of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, even at a level calling him that he's a prime minister who's lost his mental balance.
Again, see, we are missing the larger point. As I gave in my opening remarks, it is about the ideology. What Rahul Gandhi ji represents in Bharat Jodo Yatra is an ideology of positivity, of love. What atmosphere we are looking today, it is the atmosphere of fear. Nobody can speak against the government. Anybody even raising the voice will be lodged with lot many cases and all. So what we are talking is Atal Bihari Vajpayee, when he was in power, this kind of atmosphere was not there. He always told that the governments will come and go, we have to protect our democracy. Bharat Jodo Yatra is all about protecting our democracy. It is about protecting our ideology of inclusiveness. That is what is happening. So I think we need to understand that Rahul Gandhi is giving clear-cut message that as far as Bharat Jodo Yatra is concerned, even opponents can join the Yatra. Even when the Yatra started, we invited Mohan Bhagwatji to join the Yatra. So I think what is wrong in that? It is about the ideology. It is not about, just endorsing one person's all the acts. It is about endorsing the ideology of India. That is what we are doing.
Okay. Mr. Islam, I know you want to come in. What I'm going to do is I just want to quickly go across for a comment to Ms. Subhashini Ali, Senior Leader, CPI. She's joining us on the phone line. I believe there's a problem with her video link. We're going to take a quick reaction from her. Ms. Ali, how do you read Rahul Gandhi paying homage at the Samadhi of Atal Bihari Vajpayee? Well, right-wing ideology, but he was a man accepted beyond party lines. Ms. Ali, can you hear me? All right, we seem to be having a problem there. We're going to try and, build the video. If we have her on video, we'll go across to her. But let's get back to our debate. Now, Syed Zafar Islam, that's what Rohan Gupta was also saying, that yes, we've criticized Atal Bihari Vajpayee in the past, but this is not the first time that the Gandhis or the Congress have spoken of Atal Bihari Vajpayee's way of politics, which is completely averse to what, as per what the Congress would believe, is the BJP's current way of politics.
I think it's a politic of convenience. Whatever suits you, you make that kind of a statement purely because it serves your purpose. But let me make few observations which I want to make, and few points I want to make. First, which I made, that the body language itself suggests that it's merely a photo op. Second,
Body language is so subjective, sir. How can you comment on the body language?
Let me just complete. Don't interrupt me.
Please complete.
Don't interrupt me in between. You are allowing everybody to speak. Every time I am speaking, you are interrupting me. Allow me to complete, please.
Sir, please complete.
Second observation, that when you are a senior leader like Rahul Gandhi of Congress Party is paying homage to the former Prime Minister, who happened to be a senior leader of BJP. He was a senior leader of BJP as well. But his own party president and his very close associate is tweeting something very anti about former Prime Minister. That only suggests that it's a handiwork of both Rahul Gandhi and his team and his president, who is nothing but working on at the behest of the Rahul Gandhi and his team. So his aide is sending such tweet, which later he had to delete. It cannot happen unless he has been instructed to do that. Otherwise, when Rahul Gandhi is visiting here to pay homage, then nobody in the party can send such tweet unless he has been asked to do that. Third thing, he knows that how his mother has criticized the former Prime Minister. He has been said, kafan chor. If really he wanted to pay homage and he had respect and he had change of heart, then he should have apologized. He should have said that, yes, my mother had made a statement which is factually incorrect. And today I have the opportunity to not only to pay homage, but also to do a course correction and make a statement. He would have made a statement that we made a mistake by making that kind of statement. Today we want to apologize to the great people of this great nation that we made that statement which was factually incorrect. It was made by my mother. But he didn't do that. That only suggests that it was nothing but a stunt, and eventually it will backfire on them. Had he been generous and had he done purely out of respect for Vajpayee ji, then perhaps he would have said he would apologize on his behalf, on his mother's behalf.
But Syed Zafar Islam, even with what Rahul Srivastava in 2018, what he was talking about, and I'll just detail that a bit. Even at that point of time, Rahul Gandhi had criticized the functioning of the Modi government vis-a-vis the former prime ministers and the former leaders of the BJP, which included Vajpayee, where he even went on to say that Mr. Modi didn't even go and meet Mr. Vajpayee when he was very, very sick. And it was, even though the Gandhis might have criticized the functioning of Mr. Vajpayee, they at least went beyond party lines and did that. So, Dhendra Kulkarni, is that true?
You see, let's not go into insignificant details of the past. What is important today is that we are seeing at least the beginning of a political consensus building, political dialogue across ideological divide, political divide, and which is what India needs. You know, India is a democracy, and therefore political parties are bound to criticize each other, sometimes excessively, sometimes not so, but after 75 years of experience as a democracy, we have come to a stage where we must reduce, minimize negativity in politics, narrow-mindedness in politics, confrontation in politics, and move towards greater cooperation. And this is how I look at Rahul Gandhi going to Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, his Samadhi. This hopefully will begin a new kind of politics in India, which is towards integration. Of course, you know, if you look into the past, mistakes have been committed by the BJP, mistakes have been committed by the Congress. But let us begin a new era of politics where the BJP recognizes what was good in the Congress, and the Congress recognizes what is and what was good in the BJP.
Okay, Rohan Gupta, you want to respond? Rahul Srivastava, I'll come back to you on that. Is it still that utopian concept, what Mr. Kulkarni was saying, and Rahul Srivastava smiling on that, Mr. Kulkarni not, but Rohan Gupta, make your point, especially the point that was raised by Syed Zafar Islam. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick point that how difficult it is for BJP spokesperson even to recognize the fact that Rahul ji has gone to Samadhi of Vajpayee. He is going into body language. Again, I am repeating, the idea is very simple, that you have to protect the democracy. Anybody who is against the principle of democracy is our enemy. And that is this is common for Congress, BJP and all the parties in India. We are talking about protecting our constitution. The message is very clear. Whatever is happening today regarding the anger, the hate, the negativity, we must stop this kind of politics. Politics should be fought on the policies and not on questioning the questions of the rivals. This is not the politics India has been used to. There is a criticism. There is an ideological issue. There can be different ways of doing politics. You can criticize the opposition party, but you cannot crush the voice of opposition party. That is what is happening. And that is what Bharat Jodo Yatra is all about.
All right, okay. You know, Rahul Srivastava, the Congress might want to project that the Bharat Jodo Yatra is above politics. This move was above politics. It was to build consensus, to, you know, let off of what politics has been till now and build a new world where India political system is concerned. But do you reckon somewhere down the line this is also a very shrewd political move? Because it seems to have clearly gotten under the skin of the BJP.
Preeti, shrewd or not, I will not say. I think it's a political move. Vajpayee is being used as a touchstone. The Congress is maintaining a correct course. Rahul Gandhi wants to represent politics as Mr. Kulkarni, who's a thinker, ideologue, was the BJP earlier, now was seen with Rahul Gandhi. The fact remains we are only chroniclers of contemporary history. So we cannot say whether it will bring India together. That's utopian. But the fact remains that there is definitely an attempt to create a politics in which Rahul Gandhi wants to show that he is more inclusive vis-a-vis the leadership and the past leaders. While his party is doing the course correction through tweets like which have appeared about Atal Bihari Vajpayee. That's what political parties do, and I think that's politics as usual. One point that I wanted to say is that if it is politics, it's definitely politics, and Congress feels, as Mr. Gupta says, is good for them. The fact is that if there is a body language, I think, Zafar, the one body language element, 6-degree temperature in a t-shirt, that's some body language.
Okay, Zafar, Mr. Syed Zafar Islam is not amused.
I don't know what he's trying to project. I mean, wearing a t-shirt and going to a samadhi, have you seen anyone? Have you ever been to a samadhi wearing a t-shirt?
Sir, now you're getting into, now you're splitting hair.
What is trying to demonstrate? I mean,
now you're splitting hair. It's a collared. Okay, let's take a collared t-shirt.
Away from that, see, just a second. No, Preeti, despite all this, I'm saying about the body language, still, we had welcomed it. that he had visited and paid homage to Vajpayee ji. But he should have apologized. That would have been actually been given respect to the former Prime Minister of this great country, because his mother had criticized him and had called him by names like Kafan Chor and something like that. So unless you do that, and he should have thrown Mr. Gaurav Padhi from the Congress party, suspended him from the party, then he should have shown respect for Vajpayee ji. But he did nothing. The tweet had come when he knew that he is visiting there. He still he had tweeted it, and it was very well accepted by many congressmen, including Rahul Gandhi. So these are all stunt. As Rahul also said, that it is a political stunt. It may work for them, but more likely it will backfire on them.
Well, Rahul, now you're misquoting Rahul Srivastava. I'll bring him in again. I'll take closing comments. He didn't say political stunt. He said
I
a
never
political
said
move.
stunt.
Okay.
It's steeped in politics.
Okay, it's seasoned in politics, but like I said, let's quickly closing comments there. So, Dendra Kulkarni, I'm sorry, maybe Rahul Srivastava or I am taking with what you're saying at the pinch of salt, that this could be the beginning of a new era in Indian politics. I doubt that's going to happen. But you actually firmly believe that this is what Rahul Gandhi intended to do?
No, I do not at all doubt the sincerity of Rahul Gandhi in visiting the Samadhi of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He sincerely believes that India needs a different paradigm of politics. And this was also, having worked very closely with Vajpayee ji, this was also the belief of Vajpayee ji himself, that we need politics of inclusiveness, not politics of intolerance, as we see today. And therefore, the entire country should look at today's development in a positive sense. It should appreciate that a Congress leader has paid respect to a great BJP leader. What it shows is that every political party in India has contributed to India's progress. And therefore, let us synthesize what is good in every party. In a democratic framework, differences will always remain. But despite differences, we should learn to work together.
All right, okay. Closing comments, Rohan Gupta, you still haven't answered that question. Work together. The Congress was tweeting out some of your men completely contrary to what their own leader was doing at Rajghat this morning.
Again, I am repeating my statement that BJP MP statement is not BJP statement. If that is the fact, they would have criticized Sadhvi Pragya's statement long back. So again, I am saying any individual statement I don't want to comment. The larger issue is very clear. This is the message by the party, by Rahul Gandhi and Bharat Jodo, that anything against the country, whether it is hatred, negativity, we are against that and we should fight it all together. The basic issue with current regime is that they are using all the manipulative tools to crush our democracy. We are against that. Vajpayee ji never did that. We might have ideological issues with Vajpayee ji, might have issues, political issues with them, but none on this side, that politics of hatred or anger or crushing democracy or killing the constitution. That never happened. It is as simple as that. Why it is that difficult for BJP Pravakta to acknowledge this simple fact?
All right.
We are not saying...
Said Zafar Islam, the fact is many would suggest you should not have acknowledged it at all. This visit should have gone completely unnoticed. You've actually helped the Congress create the narrative that you created with a Nehru versus Patel, and now you've birthed the monster of possibly, Modi versus Vajpayee.
Well, if you are thinking that they will attempt to mislead the people of this great country, they will not. That they will fail in their attempt, because it is their own leader is contradicting what the senior leader is attempting to do that. I mean, if he is trying to pay homage to Vajpayee ji and visiting his Samadhi, then his junior leader cannot tweet something unless he has been instructed. So basically, you are contradicting, or he should have been thrown out of the party. Then at least you would have demonstrated that there is a sincerity towards what he was trying to demonstrate. But actually that was lacking in their conduct, in their approach, in their body language, and everything what they did. It is just a stunt which will backfire on them. I'm repeatedly saying Rahul may say differently, no, but at least he also heart to heart knows that whatever I have said will eventually be proven.
Rahul, which Rahul are you talking about? Srivastav, I hope, on the show. Okay. Rahul, is that what you feel?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, in your heart...
Rahul has seen the history.
Okay.
Yes.
And documented it quite well as well. But Rahul, do you see now the Congress of what has happened now constantly refer to that leaf in their booklet, which they've clearly borrowed from the BJP, where you see a Vajpayee, moderate face, Modi with what they'd like to project as the Hindutva face, Vajpayee popular across party lines, Modi seen as a polarizing figure. Do you see this being invoked over and over again?
See, there will be definitely, Preeti, there will be an attempt by the Congress party to keep doing that. And they have been doing that. In fact, it's nothing new. And I think Rahul Gandhi has actually chosen a good element for his yatra, where nafrat perpetrated by the RSS and the current BJP regime is the talking point as far as the main theme is concerned. The fact is that the year is ending. And I think if we take what Mr. Kulkarni is saying, let's go back to December 13th, 2001, Parliament attack. Few hours after that, Sonia Gandhi wasn't there in the house that day. And Mrs. Gandhi called up Atal Bihari Vajpayee and asked him how he was. And on that day, Atal Bihari Vajpayee had made a statement that as long as the leader of opposition in India calls up in a tough moment the Prime Minister and checks on his well-being, till then, democracy is alive. I think there is something to that. I think what Mr. Kulkarni says, what Rahul Gandhi is trying to do, what Rohan says, and Zafar Islam says, I think maybe next year we may see better things as far as this Rahul Gandhi versus Narendra Modi battle.
Zafar Islam is saying you have something else in your heart. That's what Zafar Islam is saying, and you know that better.
See, I have a million things in my heart, Preeti.
Okay.
I have, for example, Vajpayee was never called Kapan. It was George Fernandez who was called Kapancho. So let's not get into what's in my heart.
But that wasn't, a good thing, Zafar Islam. He's just corrected you on what you had said. But we leave it at that. Do you want to come?
Preeti,
go ahead.
Now, away from everything. See, first of all, we had welcomed that he has done something which, okay, fine, we will welcome it. But there are other observations which people are also making this kind of observation and making this kind of points, which I also explained to you. That the body language no one liked. Ask Mr. Kulkarni, he's a senior most person here, but he will never appreciate this kind of body language when you are trying to pay respect to and pay homage to
Mr. Islam, you are attributing.
Secondly, also,
Mr. Kulkarni is shaking his head and said, no, I don't believe that. Okay, fine.
I think
secondly,
Zafar bhai,
had he not
you should have respected the heart of Vajpayee ji also.
Gaurav Pandey should have been thrown out.
Okay.
No, Gaurav Pandey shouldn't have been thrown out from the party.
Mr. Islam, you've made this point.
They should have taken action against him. They have not taken action.
These were closing comments.
So that only suggests their true intent.
Okay, sir, 10 seconds. Yes, Rohan, 10 seconds, please.
See, Preeti, Zafar bhai knows the heart of Rahul Srivastav, but he doesn't believe in heart of Vajpayee ji when he had told that Raj Dharm nibhana chahiye. So I think this is the convenient thing where Zafar bhai knows heart of Rahul Srivastav and doesn't know heart of his own leaders. So I think this is the time where you have to show maturity. When Bharat Jodo Yatra is for the larger cause, whether it is for the democracy of the country. I think they should not get into
Zafar Islam also said that you know better that the body language was all off. Was the body language off for you?
You see,
I'm saying that he's a
body language
person, and I'm sure that he will.
Mr. Islam, what was your question to Sudhendra Kulkarni?
No, all I said that he is a senior person among all the people we are on this debate, and I'm sure he will appreciate what I said, that the body language when you are visiting and paying respect and homage and visiting a samadhi, the body language should have been very different than what has been showcased by Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
No, I don't appreciate what you have said. The only body language that crores of Indian people have seen today is Rahul Gandhi wearing t-shirt, only t-shirt, at a time when Delhi was freezing at a temperature of 7 degrees, And it's a continuation of how he has been conducting himself throughout the Bharat Jodo Yatra. And this visit was a part of his
Do you
Bharat Jodo
appreciate that?
Yatra.
Wearing a t-shirt, do you
People are
appreciate that?
appreciating. Let's acknowledge this.
Okay.
You may have political differences
All right,
with
okay,
Rahul
okay,
Gandhi,
but the fact is,
people have
okay, I want to
appreciated.
close this debate, but why
It's
must we
foolish to
appreciate
that
somebody wearing a
somebody
t-shirt in the
in
cold?
like this wearing a t-shirt.
Okay, fine, if you appreciate it, that's great. Let's end on that.
Which sensible person will appreciate that?
Okay, let's end. Let's
Not
end
saying
that.
that which sensible
Okay, let's
person
end
will
this debate.
appreciate.
Let's end this debate. I appreciate all four of you gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. Whatever the body language was, we leave it for our viewers to decide what they make of it. Him wearing a t-shirt, well, many would marvel. It is very, very cold. Whether you appreciate it or not, that's a different story. But will it change politics? Well, time will tell. Most of us not that optimistic. But will the Congress now use this narrative of Vajpayee versus Modi? I'm pretty sure that's going to happen and be invoked in times to come.